One final tune-up for the third-ranked Tennessee Volunteers before conference play begins today inside a fired-up Thompson Bowling Arena. It's the Tennessee Tech Golden Eagles against the Big Orange. Tennessee Tech making the trip from Cookeville to Knoxville. They bring some scoring, especially from redshirt freshman Hunter Vick. He has been excellent lately for the Golden Eagles.
Absolutely. Hunter's got off to a great start for these guys. He has two straight 20-point games, the last one coming versus Savannah State, and his coach is looking to get him off early in this game today.
Then for Tennessee, two players that are no strangers to 20-point-plus performances. Grant Williams, Admiral Schofield, the best combo since peanut butter and jelly.
Absolutely. The absolute anchor here of the Tennessee offense. They're going to pound, they're going to be physical, and then that's going to open up the outside shooting and the perimeter players for Tennessee. You should look to go to them all night long against this smaller Tennessee Tech team.
And they've combined for 10 20-point-plus performances already this season as the Volunteers are third-ranked in the country, off to a 10-1 start, and today trying to win their 7th game in a row.
Absolutely. Against a good opponent, they're going to get to come out and see a different contrasting style of play. Tennessee Tech is going to try to push it up and down the court and try to negate some of Tennessee's size and use their speed a little bit more.
Volunteers really firing on all cylinders, had a win last Saturday against Wake Forest, and head coach Rick Barnes, now in his 4th season as Tennessee, led the Vols to a co-championship in the SEC this season, and this potentially could be one of the best seasons Tennessee's ever had.
Absolutely. From start to finish, they're putting together a terrific season with one loss coming against a top 5 opponent and being able to beat a number 1 opponent a few days later. That's only going to bode well for Tennessee going down the stretch.
On the other side of the floor, Steve Payne is in his 8th season as Tennessee Tech's head coach. He spent a lot of time there as assistant. He knows he has a young team, but he likes the direction his team's going in.
Absolutely. He knows the guys are going to make some mistakes. He knows they're going to be a little bit rattled coming in here ready to play. Even though they played against a strong Michigan State and a North Carolina, they know Tennessee's the strongest opponent they faced, and they're going to be up for the challenge today.
We are ready for the tip-off in Knoxville, the final game in the 2018 portion of the schedule for the Vols, and also the last one before conference play starts next Saturday in this building against Georgia. Tennessee controlling the opening tip-off. Schofield trying to get to work early, finds Williams. Now Grant Williams goes to work. Just off the iron for the first 2, and then Schofield puts it back in.
Excellent reaction by Schofield to grab that rebound. Tennessee Tech tonight cannot allow second chance opportunities for Tennessee if they want to keep this game close.
Starting 5 for the Golden Eagles, Junior Clay, Hunter Vick, Malik Martin, Courtney Alexander, and Henry all have a lot of size. All are 6'8" and above, so at least height-wise they can match up some with Tennessee.
They are. Talking with Coach Payne earlier, he was a little bit concerned about the bulk of his guys. He knows that Schofield and Grant are going to pound, so he's going to try to make a rotation and keep some fresh guys in.
Here's Malik Martin with the 3, just short. There's Alexander with the rebound, and that's taken away. Alexander gets it back for the Vols.
Huge block by Alexander there. Ready on his toes. Excellent timing there.
Bone, 2, count the basket, and he'll go to the free throw line.
Another great finish here by Bone. Attacking, always looking for pass first, draws the guy in with his eyes, and then he's able to finish through the contact.
It all started with the block.
Good job. Kyle blocks the shot, gets us out started on the break, and then the point guard's attacking, and then he's able to finish through the contact. Great job there by Bone.
Now Bone getting set for his and one. Some big performances from him lately. Had 18 last time out against Wake Forest.
Absolutely. Every night Jordan Bone is stepping up his game, whether it be leading, whether it be scoring, or whether it be assisting his teammates. He's doing an excellent job as the point guard.
The last foul was on Malik Martin for Tennessee Tech, who have all starting on a 5-0 run. Just over the first minute of play.
I like what Coach Barnes has done by putting his best defender, Pons, on their best scorer, Vick, and negating him from the game.
There's an open lane, and Junior Clay made the Vols pay with a quick layup. Well, Tennessee's starting 5 with Bone. Eve Pons remains in the starting lineup, along with Schofield, Williams, and Alexander. Taken away for a moment by Tech, but Alexander was out of play. That's that kind of aggressiveness that Tennessee Tech is going to need in this game.
Absolutely. They're out there in the passing lanes denying. They're matching up really good with the size-wise as far as the height, but Tennessee has to make sure that they're getting the ball inside the paint and making sure that they feel their weight.
Early sub for the Vols as John Fulkerson comes in for Grant Williams, who's still talking with Tennessee's coach Rick Barnes.
I think there's a little bit of misunderstanding of what they're trying to do. I think he wants to try to get their big guys in foul trouble, and Grant taking a jump shot to start the game off with is kind of a soft shot for Grant. He's a really physical kid, and coach wants him to put that big shoulder in somebody's chest and try to take it up through their chin.
Back in their way. Tennessee 2 of 3 to start the game from the floor. Tried to get it to Schofield, and that's out of play to Tennessee Tech.
Good job there by Alexander defending the stronger, bigger Schofield. Alexander has some good length, and he's going to have to try to use that to his advantage guarding Schofield.
Now we'll see how the Golden Eagles can handle some full court pressure from Tennessee. Junior Clay is the point guard, a freshman from Chattanooga, stand out of the McCauley School. Clay attacks the baseline, gives it down low, and it's Martin with the slam.
That's excellent penetration there by Clay. He caught his guy leaning to one side, attacked him off his weak foot, and then found his big man for the easy finish on the inside.
Tennessee not being very crisp so far with the basketball.
Right now, Tennessee just has to be a little bit more patient with what they're doing. They're a quality team. They need to make sure that their quality shows and not try to play so fast.
Clay lost control of it. Tennessee fighting for it with Alexander. The jump ball will favor Tennessee Tech.
Here we have an excellent penetration by Clay. Fulkerson steps up, and he's able to find the big man for the easy two-hand finish on the backside.
Now Jordan Bowden and Grant Williams comes back into the basketball game. First time we've seen Bowden off the bench, and he's guarding Clay. Hunter Vick, just short, Tennessee basketball. Fast break chance. Bowden tried to go to Pons, and a reach-in foul called on the Golden Eagles.
Good job of Jordan grabbing the ball and pushing the tempo. Even though he just got in the game, he's going to take a little bit of time to get warmed up, but trying to get it down there and find somebody open. Excellent job to draw the foul.
Foul was on Hunter Vick, his first and the team's second in the first 3 minutes. Here's Williams to the rim, and he draws the foul.
And this is what I think him and Coach Barnes were having a conversation about. Grant, you're the returning SEC Player of the Year. Let's not start out the game by shooting jump shots. Let's get both of your feet. Let's get the guy off the bounce, and then let's put that shoulder on him and draw the contact.
Grant Williams back at the free throw line, and that has been a very familiar place for him. No other junior in college basketball has attempted more free throws in their career than Grant Williams, and that's where he's going to get so much of his scoring this year, from the free throw line.
He does. The last game against Wake Forest, Admiral and Grant had the same amount of shots, but Grant outscores him by 10 points because he shoots that many more free throws. And that's the key to his physicality and his placement every time he's posting up in the middle of the paint.
30% of Grant Williams' points have come at the free throw line this year. Here's Vick attacking. Grant blocks it away. Tennessee on a fast break. Bowden got the layup, but picked up his dribble before, so the basket will not count.
Right here you have good timing by Grant. He sees Pons is beat. He comes over, protects the rim, and there's absolutely no chance for him to get over Grant at that shot.
So the turnover took away what would have been a fast break score for the Vols. Courtney Alexander the second. Pressure on the baseline by Schofield. Clears it out, but it's stolen away by Bowden. Bowden goes to work. And the slam from Grant Williams.
Huge finish there by Grant. Bowden had the open layup. Grant takes off from the free throw line, follows the player, follows the play, and then he's able to catch the easy two-handed dunk off the rim.
And that's the type of effort that Coach Barnes wants to see throughout this game.
Absolutely. Big guy sprinting the floor, and he misses the shot, and he's rewarded.
Martin started rolling in, but he picked up his feet and turns it over. Now the basketball back to Tennessee.
Martin's trying to show his contrasting style to Tennessee. Tennessee's bigs are a bit more physical. He's longer, leaner. He wants to put the ball on the floor and see if he can get them to move side to side and then slide by him.
Six of Tennessee's 9 points so far in the paint. They go back to the paint. Fulkerson couldn't get the roll.
Excellent positioning by Fulkerson. First shot of the game. Give himself a little chance to get warmed up. If he gets that one again, that's going to go down for him.
Clay makes a move against Bone. Taken away by Fulkerson. It's going back to the Volunteers after this timeout on the floor. Well, Tennessee off to a good start, 9-4 over the Tennessee Tech Golden Eagles, and Grant Williams showing once again why he's the reigning SEC Player of the Year.
It's now time for the Coca-Cola selfie cam. Fans, take out your phones. Simply open the Hoops ID app. Now smile back and cheer.
Back inside Thompson Bowling Arena, it's Tennessee with an early 5-point lead against Tennessee Tech. Welcome, everybody. This is Roger Hoover alongside former Vol Vincent Yarbrough. Glad you're with us for this broadcast on this Saturday afternoon. And Tennessee already getting some production from Admiral Schofield, Grant Williams. That is no surprise. They've combined today for 6 of the 9 points scored already against Tennessee Tech.
They have. Grant Williams and Admiral Schofield are absolute anchors for Tennessee's offense. They get things going on the inside, and then things on the outside just open up for them.
And that was the same last Saturday against Wake Forest as Grant Williams really went to work. Admiral Schofield also showed, too, that he can score inside.
They did a great job combining for 34 points and meeting their mark that they're averaging this year. If they continue to have this type of success, this type of pace scoring on the inside, it's only going to bode great for them getting into the SEC play.
You mentioned they're averaging 34 points a game together. That is 4th best in the nation among top college duos. And you look at among Power 5 schools, Tennessee really second behind Duke.
Absolutely. And there's 2 really familiar names that everybody in the country is recognizing right now, Mr. R.J. Barrett and Mr. Zion Williamson. There's very good company to be in.
Well, back underway. Tennessee shooting 50% from the floor to this point. And they've also held the Golden Eagles to without a basket for the last 2.5 minutes. That's batted away, but Bone gets it back.
Golden Eagles change their defense. They come out in a 2-3 zone. They're allowing their middle to be a little bit too open. The top guy has to make sure that he slides over and covers the post guy that's going to flash from the deep post.
Grant Williams knocking down the jumper for Tennessee, really helping beat that zone.
Anytime you have Grant catching the ball at the high post and he can face up and knock that shot down, the night becomes really long because he has so many tools that he can use.
Now, Vic, really not sure what to do with the basketball. Calls a quick timeout. And we've heard that from Coach Payne, that every now and then this Tech team, even though they are young and talented, they still can have some freshman moments, too.
They will, and he said he's willing to live with that. The only thing that they're wanting to see tonight is what their growth has been over the last month and a half. They started off the season with a few injured players, and now they're getting players back slowly but surely, and they want to see how they've come along since the beginning of the year.
Well, and they've had to take on today Tennessee, but also earlier this season at North Carolina, at Michigan State. 11 newcomers on this roster. It's the largest young class they've had in 20 years.
Absolutely, and anytime you get 11 new guys, whether they be freshmen, whether they be transfers, it's very difficult to get them to all play on the same page and get them to understand and buy completely into your philosophy, especially in the first 6 months of the school and then 6 months of the basketball season. So he's going to have his work cut out for him in the OVC, but I know that this team will get better for him.
Yeah, they play in a great league, the OVC. It's always fun to watch some of their games. Belmont, Murray State expected to have great seasons this year.
Really great styles of basketball that are played. Fundamentally sound, able to make shots.
Clay finds Alexander. Good ball movement there.
Alexander may be besides Pons, the most athletic kid on the court. He's long, he's bouncy. I'd like to see a lot more of him get into that basket.
Jalen Johnson, some of his first minutes today. Here's Grant Williams just doing his thing.
He caught the ball in the spot that he loves to catch the ball in, mid to high post. He faces up. He's so patient. He's so thoughtful of what he's looking for that it's almost impossible to stop him from making his move.
Micaiah Henry going to work against Grant Williams. Tough matchup, and there will be the first foul. And that's another one of the narratives about Grant Williams this year. Can he stay out of foul trouble? And that time, really not much he could do.
Grant,
Take a look at his
they're
last
reaching in
score.
on Grant, but he's had such wide shoulders. He bumps the point guard back, and he's just able to clear enough space to get his jump shot off.
Now 2 shots coming up for Micaiah Henry. Stands at 6'9", 235 pounds, so in a lot of ways he can match up with Grant Williams today. And today's going to be a great learning experience for him to go up against him.
Absolutely, and if Tech wants to make sure that they stay in the game, they're going to have to give him the ball, even if he's not their number 1 or number 2 scorer, just to try to keep some pressure on Grant and Admiral, because they are so physical. They're going to stay in the game, and Coach Barnes adds an excellent rotation with these guys.
Tipped back in play. Kyle Alexander grabs it right in front of Courtney Alexander II for Tennessee Tech. So far, everything's been inside. How about something from outside from Jordan Bone? First Tennessee triple.
Good look from Mr. Bone. Lined it up, got his hands on the ball, feet down. A good shot, stepped right into it.
6 points. Grant Williams already with 8 points to lead Tennessee today. The Vols have hit their last 3 shots. And 3 in the key, gives it back to Tennessee.
Good lick here from Bone. Got both of his feet down, hands down. Guy contested a shot a little bit too late, but Bone was able to get his eyes on the mark.
So now Tennessee will get the basketball back. That was actually a foul on Micaiah Henry for Tennessee Tech. 14 fouls already on the Golden Eagles. Only 1 so far on Tennessee. Bone showing off his speed, going right to the rim.
That's excellent control, excellent vision. He waited for the opening to get there. It parted like the Red Sea, and then he just got through it.
Martin too strong in the 3-pointer. Vic back to Martin in the paints. Puts it in. Another chance for Tennessee to run. It's Grant Williams.
That's beautiful basketball. The ball didn't hit the court. Point guard always with his head up. Big guy sprinting rim to rim, exactly how the coach teaches you.
Alexander works it inside. Taken away by the other Alexander. Then the spin move by Bone. To Schofield. Finally in.
Big time bucket right there. Bone comes down, scores the last 2 buckets. Unselfish enough to find the big guy running the court, and he rewards him with the 3-pointer.
It's a 12-2 run over the last 149 for Tennessee. The Vols have hit their last 6 shots. And once again, great work from outside from Admiral Schofield.
USC fans, this is the moment you truly all been waiting for.
Tennessee in front 23-8, thanks in large part to the play we've seen so far from Jordan Bone. He's got 8 points for the Volunteers, and Vincent, he's showing why he is one of the more elite point guards in the Southeastern Conference today.
Absolutely. Here we're looking at 2 things. Jordan's hesitation and also Kyle Alexander's seal, not allowing the big man to get back in the play. Jordan's a good enough athlete to finish at the rim. If Vic was not in a position to get over there and block it quick enough. Excellent play there by Jordan. Excellent play there by Kyle Alexander.
Well, he's really been stepping up his scoring for Tennessee. Now he's averaging 14 points per game. Last time out, he had 18 against Wake Forest, and then the game before that, 24 points against Samford when he had a career high. So this is the right time of the year for him to be playing his best.
Yes, it is. He's picking up his game right at the right time, right when Coach Barnes needs him to play the most minutes. They have their backup point guard, Lamonte Turner, who's down with a shoulder injury, so he's demanded to play 30-plus minutes of the game. So right now, he's taking full advantage of the opportunity at hand.
Just saw Turner on the bench, yes. Coach Barnes even talking to the media yesterday, still not sure yet when the return will be for Lamonte Turner. Really says it's up to him.
It is. When you're dealing with a scorer or a shooter, it's all about feeling. Do I feel good? And if a shooter tells you they don't feel good or something has a kink or a catch in it, that you have to really pay attention to that.
Tennessee has hit its last 6 field goals. Back to Bowden. Good head fake. And that's just off the mark. There's Alexander with the rebound. Martin from 3. Back iron, back to Tennessee.
Martin's not shy to take the outside shot, even though he's listed as the 4-man.
Turn around, got it.
Good job. It's just too deep. Anytime Grant Williams catches the ball in his comfort position on the block, you can almost guarantee that it's going to be 2 points or a foul.
Williams 5 of 6 from the floor. He's got 12 points already to lead Tennessee in scoring. Jared Sherfield to Clay on the baseline. Stolen by Schofield.
Tech has to do a better job of making the clear pass. They've been throwing the ball through the defense, cross court, and that's just not good enough with Tennessee's length.
And Alexander goes to work, showing off what a lot of people are talking about. He's got an NBA-style game if he just continues to get better.
Absolutely. He's long, he's 6'11", he's bouncy, he's developing some moves that are going to be his go-to moves, and the kid wants to learn. He's a young player, has only played basketball for a few years, and everything he's absorbing like a sponge.
Martin working inside, right on Alexander. Couldn't get the shot to fall.
That's excellent defense there by Alexander. Both hands extended to the ceiling, straight up and down. No contact. Good defense.
Bowden to the rim. Alexander with the finish.
Good job. There again, Alexander in the proper position. Inside seal on his guy. Bowden misses the layup. He's there to hammer it down.
Now a 19-point deficit for Tennessee Tech, and even when we talked to Coach Payne yesterday, he knew that they were going up with a challenge day against third-ranked team in the country. Just wants to see his team improve as we go throughout this game. Now Bowden to Pons! Air France in flight!
Tennessee Tech has to get back control of the game. They probably need a timeout to regroup themselves and make sure that everybody understands what's going on. That is just great vision there by Bowden. Goes upstairs to Air France, and there's only a few people that can stop that at that height.
Well, his teammates fired up to see that for the native of France, Yves Pons, who, again, the last couple games maybe hasn't scored like he thought he could be able to score against Samford or Wake Forest, so everybody's fired up because he's had a good week of practice.
Absolutely. The great thing about Pons is he may not score a bunch of points, but the points that he does score are so exciting that it gets everybody energized, it gets the crowd back into the game, and it just takes the team to another level.
So Pons grabbing the last 2 for Tennessee, but grabbing 12 points so far for the Volunteers has been Grant Williams. He's only missed 1 shot today, and he's just playing his game.
If Tech is going to allow Grant Williams to do the things that Grant Williams likes to do, it's going to be very difficult for them to get back into the game. He's such a force. He can block shots. He catches at the high post. He's got a nice soft jump shot. And then if he can run the court and catch it off the rim like that, then those are just freebies.
Saw the block shot earlier, and that is going to be the thing that the coaching staff likes to see the most, is him stepping it up on the defensive end, because we know he can do offensively.
Absolutely, because once he starts blocking shots, you know that he's locked in from the help side. So when you got those guys that are communicating, making sure they're in the proper position, and Grant's a great communicator, especially with guys that it seems that there's almost a 6th guy out there on the court.
Alexander just got it over mid-floor. Great defense by Schofield in the backcourt. Nick hasn't scored so far today at 20 last time out. Garrett Golday knocks down the contested 3.
Good penetration there by Vic. He may not be able to score, but he's still a team player, and he's looking to make sure something happens for him.
Wouldn't go in off the window for Jordan Bone. Micaiah Henry right on Williams. Left-handed hook shot goes in.
Good looking shot there. He was able to bang Grant 2 times into the middle, spin over his right shoulder, and use that left hand.
Pons again.
There he is. He's the most exciting player on Tennessee's team. He's the most athletic. He guards the toughest assignment. He's just a wonder to watch, a pleasure to watch.
Now Vic was hoping for a screen there. Gets it back out to Sherfield. Henry this time against Pons and Alexander. Back to Alexander, blocked by Kyle. Actually, it was on its way down, so goaltending on Kyle Alexander.
Derek Walker Jr.
Eve Pons certainly having some fun today.
It was an excellent cut there from Pons from the corner. Alexander with the presence of mind to find him, and then Pons does what he does best, finishes at the rim.
Williams nearly lost it. Two defenders right on him. He still knocks it down.
Tennessee plays such patterns that he threw the ball because he knew the player was supposed to be right there. And it just hit him, and Grant was able to grab it and knock that jump shot down.
Henry fighting inside. Left it short. Here comes Tennessee. Tipped by Vic, back to Williams, stays in play for the Vols. Boom. Off the back iron from the elbow. Knocked loose by Williams, right to Pons.
Tech has to do a better job of not trying to attack Tennessee's defense one-on-one every time. They have to make sure a few passes are there, and then the defense breaks down, and then they try to attack the seam.
Williams fights in with the slam.
That's just too strong. You have to make sure you're staying down on Grant Williams. You would rather him shoot the jump shot than to finish over your partner almost and one.
It's Pie Slam a jam today for the Vols.
There's a lot of exciting guys. A lot of guys came out with a lot of energy and warm-up, so I knew it was going to be an exciting game for them. And now they're showing some of that energy.
Hunter Vick, 2 on the shot clock. Couldn't find it there. Bone through traffic, scores.
Beautiful in and out hesitation move by Bone. Gets the guy jumped to the other side. He finishes easily with the left hand.
He's now in double figures with 10 points. Grant Williams leading the way with 16 today. Still in the first half. Golday, second three-pointer.
He's a shooter. Without hesitation, he's looking to raise up. Grant's a little bit too low on the screen. He should make sure that he's even. As soon as that guy hands him off in the exchange, his feet should be even with his defender's feet.
Grant Williams from the logo. Got it.
The problem is you repetitively see the same types of shots for Grant Williams. Tennessee Tech has to find a way, whether it's a junk defense or something, just to negate what he's doing. He's 18 points in the first half, and that's very difficult to stop on a home court.
Courtney Alexander the second. Now it's Vic. Didn't want to go with the 3 against Williams. Kicks it back out to Sherfield. He's off the back iron, but it stays Golden Eagle basketball. Fight for it. Derek Walker gets it back for the Vols. Tennessee wants to run. Admiral!
Excellent pass by Jordan Bone. Made eye contact with Admiral. Admiral continues the sprint. And then, once again, you know what it is.
You know what it is. Incredible to see this from Tennessee today with these monster dunks, almost like the Monstars in the Space Jam movie.
They are playing with a lot of energy, and I think Coach is putting in some guys right now that are also going to bring a little bit more energy and maybe a little bit more excitement to the game.
Here's Golday to Vic, and that will be a foul. Is it offensive or defensive? That's the only question. Defensive against Tennessee. So the fans may not like that, but what they have enjoyed today are some big slam dunks from the Tennessee Volunteers, and Eve Pons leading the charge. Volunteers by 23. Thursday, January 3rd, we'll have a women's college basketball doubleheader that starts at 7 Eastern, 6 Central with the number 8 Mississippi State Bulldogs in Fayetteville to take on Arkansas. Then it's number 25, South Carolina, and number 23, Texas A&M in College Station. Both games are right here on the SEC Network and on the ESPN app, so you can watch them anywhere. Well, the Volunteers 10-1 this season. The lone loss came in Brooklyn to number 1 Kansas team that was the preseason number 1 team in the country. But since that loss to Kansas, look what the Vols have done.
They learned something. Losing that game, they learned how to function without Grant Williams on the court. So when he goes into foul trouble, they immediately throw it into another mode, and then they start to get back the same feeling as the Tennessee Ball Club with Grant Williams on the court.
The wins against Gonzaga, Memphis have been impressive. Bone's been averaging 14 since then. Martin throws up a prayer, and it's taken back by Tennessee. That was a long last sequence, so some fresh bodies on the floor right now for the Vols, including Lucas Campbell. You don't often see in the first half of games. He'll come in later for the Volunteers, senior from Knoxville.
It's a good job. I like Coach Barnes getting him in early, giving him a reward. He practices every day just like all the other guys, and he needs a reward in front of these hometown fans the same.
John Fulkerson with a nice slam dunk. Fans love seeing that as he continues to get closer to that fearlessness he has as a freshman. Now he's got it as a junior, the man from Kingsport.
This is exactly what we've been waiting for from Fulton. Explosive player, all over the court, stealing the ball, blocking shots. That's his game.
Campbell being aggressive on defense. There will be a foul called. Tennessee's playing a different intensity even with some of the subs on the floor right now. This has been fun to see for Tennessee fans. Tennessee in front by 27. Another timeout on the floor, and John Fulkerson. A couple of slam dunks for the Big Orange. Tennessee on an 8-0 run over the last 2 minutes. So the Volunteers with a 47-20 lead over Tennessee Tech as we have just under 3 minutes to go before halftime. Hunter Vick has had some big performances this season for the Golden Eagles. And again, last year he didn't get to play at all last year, but getting to be a redshirt, he really got to learn more about the game of basketball. And he's been playing at a very high level to start his freshman year.
Absolutely. It's like getting a free year of school. He comes in, he gets to work with the team, he gets to be around the coaches, he gets to learn their new philosophy, and then now is the time that he gets to come out and try to apply it. So he really has a jump start on all the other freshmen because he was a part of the program for at least a year last year.
And he understands what Coach Payne really wants. His dad played basketball at Union University when Coach Payne was an assistant coach there, so I'm sure that was a great connection that helped lead him to Cookeville.
Absolutely, and I'm sure it was a feel-good connection. So anytime you can come back full swing and get a player that had coached you, then that's the complete circle.
Scoring drought approaching 3 minutes for the Golden Eagles. Junior Clay, the point guard, through traffic. Very impressive.
Good-looking drive there by Clay.
Fulkerson tried to get it to Walker, but Golday has the steal.
Fulker needed to be a little bit more patient. Walker was working on his post-up, but he needed to let it develop a little bit and then toss it in.
Hunter Vick, he's open, and he hits.
Excellent screen there to free Vick up. He's a shooter, so they're going to try to get him going, especially before the second half, to see what they can get done or accomplished in the second half.
Now timeout taken by Tennessee as Coach Barnes will talk with his crew for a moment.
Excellent screen here to free up Vick for the three-pointer. Bowden has to make sure he stays attached to the shooter. Vick is too good a shooter to have that much space.
Coach Payne in the huddle again with a very young Tennessee Tech team that is 4-8, but they were picked to finish 5th in the OVC this year, and they are getting ready for the start of conference play. They will start with Tennessee State coming up on Thursday for their OVC opener.
I think this is a good tune-up for them to come in here and see the strength, the physicality, the speed of a major program, and then take that, the things that you learn, the things that you glean, and go back and try to apply that in your conference.
Coach Payne, very experienced experienced. He was the 2005-06 OVC Coach of the Year. He was an interim coach when head coach Mike Sutton had to have a leave of absence due to illness, but he has been around that program for so long, and it's good to see continuity like that for Tennessee Tech.
Absolutely. As we were talking earlier, he's going to be a lifer at Tech. He really loves the school. He really loves the atmosphere, and he gets kids there that normally maybe you couldn't get to a small town like Cookeville, but they love to come and they love to play for him.
Mostly starters back on the floor for Tennessee, including Bone, along with Alexander, Williams, and Schofield. It's Jordan Bone flipping in two more.
Bone is just showing his maturity right now. He knows that he's the better of the 2-point guards, so he's going to lead his team, and he's going to take advantage in the spots that he knows that he can score. If not, he's going to set somebody up and then make an easy play for them.
Gabe Crossland in the game for the first time, wearing still a brace on his right knee after missing some time with injury. He goes to Alexander, knocks down Kyle Alexander, and it will be a blocking foul on Tennessee's Kyle Alexander.
I think Kyle was there. I think that he was just in the restricted area, so he has to make sure that he gets outside of that area. You got there, a heel in, so that's the correct call.
I'll send Courtney Alexander to the second to the free throw line, and if that name is familiar, Courtney Alexander, that's because his dad, of course, had a terrific career, especially in college at Fresno State, where he led the nation in scoring, averaging 24 points per game, and he played 3 years in the NBA.
Yeah, and I happen to know Courtney. He was coached by a very good friend of mine. He's his personal trainer, Ansar El-Amin, and Courtney had a fantastic career up there with the Wizards.
Did you ever play against him?
Yes, I did.
Very good. It's back the other way. We did see underhanded free throws by Alexander. He really learned this style just a couple of years ago to help with his free throw shooting, and the Rick Barry style has helped him raise his percentage about 10 points. He went from being a 41% free throw shooter to now 51%.
Yeah, but it just doesn't bode well to anybody taking a look at you and considering you somebody that works on your craft, you know. Now, in the old days, Barry, that was something that he did that was very consistent. But as the modern shot developed, coaches began to think and look for different types of things. And that's so old school. I'm not sure that it's going to make the cut.
Well, we saw Rick Barry's son do that for a few years when he was playing at Florida, but he was about the only one. Vic, nice three-pointer right on top of Bone.
Absolutely shoot it. His hands are ready, his feet are ready. Watching him in warm-ups, he's a pure shooter. He's getting up his three-pointers. He's working on his counter.
Fulkerson cleaning up the trash right at the rim.
That's what Fulke does best. If you don't lay a body on Fulke every time, he's somehow going to find his hands on the ball.
Final 20 seconds of the first half. Still a shot clock to work with for the Golden Eagles. Now Junior Clay getting the offense going. It's Clay working inside. Got it right before the shot clock buzzer expired. And that'll end this first half of play that saw Tennessee outscore Tennessee Tech 51-33 as the Volunteers have been firing on all cylinders here in Knoxville so far.
Yes, they have. And to finish out the half with a defensive letdown for Tennessee is kind of disappointing to Coach Barnes. You see him storm the court and get to his point guard, Jordan Bone, who he's considered his coach on the court, his leader, to make sure that as we go, we're going to finish strong, whether we're up 10, 15, or 20.
Volunteers shooting the basketball extremely well, 74% in the first half, and it was a lot of key contributors for the Volunteers, whether it was big dunks from Pons, Jordan Bowden, Grant Williams, everybody playing well for the Vols. Tennessee up 22 at the half. Jordan Bone already with 12 points for Tennessee, and for more on his great season, we'll hear from VFL Films and Matty Glab.
And the dream is alive! Loyola rambling on to the Sweet 16!
That game was a really pivotal moment for me, and it changed the way I studied the game. It changed the amount of time that I put into trying to perfect my craft. So I would say the Loyola game is the motivation behind the way I look at the game now.
The goal for Jordan Bone in the offseason, to transform his game, his mindset, everything.
Bone off a screen, elevates and knocks it down. Talk about rising up into your shot.
And I've been impressed with Bone. I mentioned earlier, I think he's one of the best point guards in the SEC.
We really want him to master the position, master the role as the floor leader, and you could see him trending that way.
Now he's just this court controlling, just fast, like this ball guy, and it's been crazy to watch his development.
It started with breaking down film of his freshman and sophomore season, then moved to film study of some of the best point guards in the NBA, including Kyrie Irving, Chris Paul, and Damian Lillard.
I just studied the way those guys just approach any situation on the court, whether it's ball screens or on the ball defense, just small things like that could like get me mentally ready to take the next step as a player.
To take the next step, Bone knew he needed to use something that set him apart from other point guards.
Jordan Bone has speed that is top-level speed. I'm telling you, his burst with the ball is as good as any point guard in this league.
In practices, what we started to see more, for example, and coach has been pushing him to do this, is learn how to use his speed to his advantage. And you started to see him be a little bit more fearless, play more in attack mode, because he can play at a speed that just most people don't have.
He moves with such speed that sometimes when coaches get mad at us for not staying in front of him, it's like, how do you expect me to stay in front of that?
Watch Bone with the hesitation and then the blowback for the easy finish off the window.
And Bone chases down the rebound.
You see that speed right there.
Wow.
Coach Barnes had mentioned to me, like, when I'm aggressive is when, you know, a lot of things open up. I'm a guy that loves to get my teammates involved, and I want to get all the assists possible. And he was like, you can't get any assists if you're not aggressive. So I really held on to that, and things just started to open up.
Bone's bold and fearless approach to the game is creating opportunity for the entire team.
He's got so much talent, he's got a great attitude, and now I think he's starting to put it all together. He's not there yet, but really proud of the way he's starting to get his arms around this thing.
And he's really taken his game to a different level his junior season as we take a look year by year what he's done at Tennessee.
Absolutely. Every year he's continuing to improve, and this year we were going to consider this his breakout year. He's doing everything Coach Barnes is asking of him, and he, along with Admiral and Grant, are the true leaders of this team. As he goes this year, so will the Volunteers. As he progresses, so will the Volunteers.
Tennessee today with 12 points from Bone, and at halftime, it's the Volunteers leading the Tennessee Tech Golden Eagles 51-33. Felt like we were back in the Ray Mears era at halftime. Not sure Roger Peltz ever had a three-tiered unicycle quite like that, but we had a fun unicycle show at the break, and at halftime, it's Tennessee in front, 51-33. Roger Hoover alongside Vincent Yarbrough and Tennessee getting ready now for SEC play. One half of basketball left in the non-conference, and then next Saturday, Georgia comes to town.
Absolutely, and last year was a very special game for Tennessee. They were able to clinch the SEC championship with that win, and this year they're looking to start off the SEC with a great victory and then let that carry throughout the season.
Also some great matchups. Kentucky is at Alabama. Ole Miss is at Vanderbilt as well, along with Tennessee and Georgia.
Yes, and they have two terrific players. You got Ring Tyree there at Ole Miss, and then you have the guys at Kentucky, Ashton Hagen and Mr. Williams that are doing a terrific job there.
And they're only getting better as the season goes along. When we come back, we will take a look at some first half highlights and all the stats. Then the second half will begin as you watch the SEC Network.
UFC fans, this is the moment you truly all been waiting for.
Back in Knoxville, it's Tennessee in front, 51-33 over Tennessee Tech. And what is the final non-conference tune-up for the Volunteers before SEC play begins next week? Roger Hoover joined once again by former Vol Vincent Yarborough, and we figured Tennessee would have a lot of advantages today against Tennessee Tech, but the Vols really being consistent just themselves, hitting 74% of the shots from the floor in this game.
Absolutely, and the one thing about Tennessee is they're expending a lot of energy. You're going to see the big guys sprinting up and down the court. You're going to see them going after every block shot. You're going to see them extending the passing lanes and putting pressure on the defensive end. So with those things happening for Tennessee, you're going to see these types of leads. You're going to see these types of performances.
And we've seen some great dunks so far from the Volunteers, maybe more in the first half than we've seen in several games this year.
Absolutely. As I said before, you're going to see Tennessee attacking that rim. They're big guys sprinting the floor. You got Schofield running, attacking the rim. And then we have the big guy in the middle that just seals the deal. He has such a soft touch from the free throw line. He can knock that shot down. He can finish at the rim. He can put you on the back. And then his shoulders are so big and wide that you just get to take a little bump and it clears enough space for him to get his shot off there.
So Tennessee in front by 18 at the break, and again the Volunteers 23 of 31, 74% from the floor, knocking down some three-pointers, out rebounding, and really leading every category, but also 51 points for the Vols, 40 Vincent have been in the paint.
That's very difficult to stop, and again that starts with Grant Williams. He has 18 points in the first half. If Tech does not find a way to keep him out of the middle, he'll continue to eat the same way in the second half.
Big lead for the Volunteers, 51-33, and we saw some in the first half. Rick Barnes emptied the bench a little bit, gave his guys a rest after a really long sequence of play. You anticipate Williams and Schofield, Alexander playing as much in the second half?
Probably not. Not toward the end of the second half. I think he's going to get them out there, and their job is to get the team off to a good start, and then he should go to his bench and let some of the guys that are deserving of some playing time get out there in front of this crowd.
And we saw already some of those guys take advantage. John Fulkerson had back-to-back big dunks for Tennessee. Grant Williams with 18 points today, and again continues to be right at his average. He's averaging 19 points per game. That leads the SEC.
He's such a solid player, and the thing about Tennessee that I really like is that the patience of the point guard, the strength of the interior, the length of the total team is very, very difficult to beat.
Then what can Tennessee Tech do better in the second half?
They just have to try to negate the inside game. Grant Williams is basically right now the difference in the game. They're down 18 points. Grant has 18 points. If they can come up with some way to slow him down in the second half, then they have at least a chance to get back into the game.
Grant Williams starting to go to work. Long three from Schofield. Got it.
That's this domination. When you have Grant backing your guy down to create the stretch to get Admiral enough space, because they're going to have to double team Grant sooner or later. So if you keep your hot hand shooter on his side, they're going to have to long recover to get back to Admiral's shot.
Junior Clay, the point guard for the Golden Eagles, finds Henry, who's got some size. Right up against Kyle Alexander. He gets the tough layup.
That's a good job. He was really determined to score. Put up one, got it back, and then trying to bull his way in there, put right shoulder and nice right hook.
Schofield, turnaround. Off the back iron.
Probably the quickest shot Tennessee has taken all night in the half-court set. So Admiral just hit a big three coming down. You have to give yourself a heat check to see if this is going to be your next 5-6 minutes.
Now Malik Martin, who started his career at Southern California. He has a turnover here. Williams gets a quick steal. Now Tennessee in transition.
Great patience there by Tennessee. Could have taken a few different shots, gets it back to their steady point guard, and he's going to make sure that they get a good possession coming down this trip.
10 on the shot clock for Bone. It's Williams off the window.
And as you watch Martin shake his head in disbelief, how can this guy score this way? It's quick, it's short, it's basic. There's nothing flashy about it. He just gets directly to the point. He uses his angles, which all great basketball players do, and he has a soft touch.
Play working inside, got it. Bone to Williams, and he'll go to the free throw line where For Grant Williams, he really hasn't been there that much today. He's only had one trip. He was 2 for 2 in the first half.
He hasn't. This is what I'm talking about. The stretching of Grant, making sure that Admiral has enough space to get his shot off. That's what's going to happen on the double team. And here, Martin is just not quick enough to meet up with his spin and then the nice kiss off the glass.
Fulkerson and Bowden back in. Saturday, January 5th, we'll have a men's college basketball doubleheader for you when number 3 Tennessee welcomes Georgia here to Thompson Bowling Arena at 3:30 Eastern, 2:30 Central. Then we'll take you to College Station for Arkansas and Texas A&M at Reed Arena. Both games are right here on the SEC Network and on the ESPN app, so you can watch them from anywhere. After Williams goes 1 for 2 at the line, it's back with Tennessee Tech. Tennessee Tech shooting right at 50% for the game as well. Some turnovers have taken away some of their chances to score. They've been 16 of 32 from the floor. Now Malik Martin. Jump ball, basketball will stay with Tennessee Tech.
Yeah, Tennessee Tech has played an overall good game. Tennessee has just shot the ball exceptionally well, scored the ball in the paint exceptionally well, and that's what's led to the difference.
Grant Williams tying up his shoe, getting ready to continue. It's been a great performance. 21 points. He's only missed one shot from the floor today.
The beauty of Grant's game is he's not going to start exploring things during the game that he can't do. Everything that Grant does, he's worked on, and he's worked to get it. So every shot that you see, the positioning, the strength, all of those things are things that he's worked to get, and he's never going to step outside that game.
Williams takes it away here. Stays away from the defender. Clay will be called for a reach-in foul.
Another attribute of Grant, right? He has such great timing. He's able to let the guy make his move and then time it in the air, jump straight up, and get his hand on it without drawing the foul.
Second block for him today. To Williams. He's fouled. Fulkerson had a nice finish, though.
Not having a little fun. Good look here by Admiral over the top. He had him all the way. Just came down with the hammer. Wouldn't let him get it in.
Really still willed that basketball in as he was falling down. Now Williams back to the free throw line.
And Golday's a big kid also. But Grant is just a special one. Like his size, his strength, and his body. He looks like a physically imposing person, but you just really can't tell the damage that he can do to other guys until he starts playing. And when you see that, that's when you see the full beauty of Grant Williams' physical game.
A few years ago, before one of his first games his freshman year, we were told that if he just had 2 or 3 more inches, he could be a lottery pick. We've seen him grow a little bit in his time at Tennessee to 6'7".
Yeah, and with a terrific game, with terrific development. That jump shot, that soft touch has been developed. Those positioning, those posting up, knowing the angles, knowing how to score the ball, when to score the ball, has all been things that the coaches have taught him, or he's gleaned along the way, learning from his other players that have that ability. When I played, I learned one of the most simple shots from a guy, Ron Slade. He came to school with a shot, and I didn't have the shot, but it was unstoppable. So what I wanted to do is I needed that shot in the post, and that's one of the things that I learned from one of my teammates.
I'm sure that was a lot of time on your own in the gym, just working and working, and work ethic of this Tennessee team is among the best Tennessee's ever.
Absolutely. These guys are no nonsense. It starts with the top down. Coach Barnes, every time, every day comes to work. Coach Lanier, every time, every day comes to work, and it rubs off on the guys, and now it's a part of their work ethic.
Foul just as Junior Clay was going to the rim.
Clay's been terrific attacking the rim tonight. Like, he's really nifty with the ball. His crossover, his double crossover gets you off balance, and then his first step is quick enough to beat you to the basket. So he's made a few layups and then been able to draw a few fouls. He's really playing well, and I think in the OVC that he's going to be a terrific pickup for him.
There are things he can learn today, having to go up against Jordan Bowden, Jordan Bone, take things from their game into his.
Jordan's just mature. Clay's not mature yet. He hasn't been through the battles. Jordan's been through 2 years of SEC battles. He's played against some of the best guards that have gone on to the NBA, gone on and had really good careers in Europe and things like that. So he's seen that level. This kid here is just now getting his feet wet. So Jordan's an experienced guard. This is a kid that has some of the same tools, some of the same athletic, some of the same quicknesses, but just has to mature.
He is sticking right with Bowden on defense. Alexander tried to take it away. Now Fulkerson. Into the paint. Left hand, it wouldn't go, but a foul. That'll lead us to our next timeout on the floor. It's Tennessee outscoring Tennessee Tech 8-10, 10-8 so far in the second half from Knoxville.
All right, Ball Nation. It's time.
New Year's Day, the SEC Nation crew of Laura, Marcus, Paul, Tim, and Lauren will be in Orlando to preview the day's games the SEC teams are playing in. 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 Central, right here on the SEC Network and on the ESPN app. Tennessee, of course, led by Grant Williams and Admiral Schofield. They are the top two scorers in the Southeastern Conference entering this ball game, as Tennessee has a 20-point lead against Tennessee Tech. And really the great scoring that we've seen from this dynamic duo that, again, Vincent, a lot of people have said they are the best combo since peanut butter and jelly. They even call themselves that at times this year. They've continued that today. Just a remarkable performance already against Tennessee Tech.
This year they started out with a chip on their shoulder. They felt that they were disrespected last year. They went out and they achieved what they wanted to. This year coming back, they still felt that they were disrespected a little bit, so they still had some more to work. So what Tennessee continues to do, what Schofield and what Grant Williams continue to do, is continue to be the hunter instead of the hunted. Even though they're ranked number 3 in the country, you can never tell from their work ethic that these guys are an elite program. They're always striving to get to the next level. They're always working to get better, and that's the mark of a good team.
Well, combined, they average 34 points per game. They've already combined today for 35 points. As Grant Williams is Tennessee's top scorer with 23, and you have Schofield with 12. Fulkerson goes 2 for 2 at the line.
Good to see Fulkerson get in rhythm going into the SEC play. They're going to need another strong post player coming in that can block shots and rebound and score the ball from the inside.
He is going to be a big key along with Derek Walker, especially if Grant Williams or Kyle Alexander get in foul trouble, which, of course, in the SEC and especially on the road at times will happen. Look at John Fulkerson! Still went in as he lost his footing.
With the intentional foul.
You know, his teammates love seeing that.
Fulke plays with such a reckless abandon. It wouldn't have mattered if Fulke would have seen that guy. He would have tried to do the same play and dunk on him. That's just who he is as a person. He sees him and he goes after him.
Right into our camera, Tim Morris. Hope he's all right running camera. So that was a heavy collision right under the basket.
I think the ref gave him an intentional foul, but on the replay it looked like it was a little bit cleaner than in the live action.
Tim's good. So a flagrant 1 foul on Garrett Golday, and that'll send Fulkerson to the line.
I guess it's any contact from the backside when you attack and no one's in front of you. That's what they gave it to him for.
It's the second one for Fulkerson. Now still Tennessee basketball after that foul.
It's great to see Fulkerson come out and play with that much energy. When he's playing with a high energy, everything seems to fall in his hands. Rebounds, steals, finishes, and ones. So anytime we can get him out on the court playing with that amount of energy.
Nearly an alley-oop. Bowden, third time wasn't the charm. He'll go to the free throw line and try to knock it down.
A lot of contact on the alley-oop. I think it might have possibly been an and one. Excellent pass here by Bone over the top. Little contact there by Alexander. Alexander can get up himself. So Bowden had to be really high because he was over Alexander.
Saturday, January 5th, we'll have a men's college basketball doubleheader for you. And number 3 Tennessee welcomes Georgia here to Thompson Bowling Arena at 3:30 Eastern, 2:30 Central. Then we'll take you to College Station for Arkansas and Texas A&M and Reed Arena. Both games right here on the SEC Network and on the ESPN app, so you can watch them anywhere. Reach-in foul called on John Fulkerson.
Fouls on John Fulkerson. His first, team second.
That's great aggressive defense. You have your 4-man extended 5 feet beyond the three-point line denying the ball. That's not a normal occurrence. Most 4 men will be lagging behind at the free throw line waiting for the action to come to them.
Down low to Henry. Got it.
Good seal there by Henry. Alexander kind of lost his bearings where he was at. He was able to get sealed, and then they Tech threw it over the top for the easy 2.
Schofield lost it in the paint. Here comes Tennessee Tech. Play on Bone. Gives to Henry. Schofield says no.
Great block there by Uncle Sco.
And the steal on the other end for Junior Clay. He wants it. He's got it.
That's what Clay can do. He attacks the basket. He can snake his way in there, and then he can use left and right hand to finish around the rim.
Bowden. Just off there. Here's Alexander with it back. Out to Crossland from 3. Missed there. Quickly to Bowden. Game very up and down right now.
Guys are just having a little fun right now. Tennessee is comfortable. Tech is trying to get back in the game by any means necessary, and so it's going to turn into a lot of up and down here.
Bowden left it a bit short. He'll go to the free throw line.
Tennessee's credit, they're still running their offense. Tennessee Tech, they're running up and down. They're trying to get the first shot available. Tennessee's playing fast, but they're still playing within their offense.
Tennessee will bring in Derek Walker, Grant Williams back in the basketball game. Schofield gets a rest, 12 minutes, and he's played great defense today.
Absolutely. The one thing about Coach Barnes' kids, every one of them expends just as much energy on the offensive end as they do on the defensive end. And it's a prerequisite. If you want to get on the court, then you have to do that.
Also, Eve Pond's back in, so look out for some dunks. He also is a very skilled three-point shooter. I haven't seen the Volunteers go from beyond the arc as much today. Tennessee only 3 of 5, so only 5 attempts.
I think Coach Barnes' game plan was to pound it inside and to make their big guys have to deal with Tennessee's size and physicality, and it's paid off to this point.
Goes back the other way. Here's Pons. Speed off the block, and a foul before the shot.
You have to commit to fouling Pons. It's a brush foul is not good enough. He's going to play through that. You have to, if you're going to stop him and he's already in motion, you're going to have to make sure that you lay a little wood on him just to make sure that he can't get that ball up and through your arms.
Front end of the 1-1, good for you, Pons. Pons now in his sophomore season, again a native of France, came to Tennessee from the NCAA Academy. It's down the second.
Pons really developing a nice looking left-hand stroke. Coming in, he was a pure athlete. You knew what he did. You knew what he looked like he was going to do. He's going to attack. He's going to be physical. But as he stays here at Tennessee and the coaching staff is allowed to work with him and develop his skills, you're going to see a quite different player than the one you've seen as freshman and sophomore.
Vic buries the 3 from the top of the key. He's kind of warmed up into the game. Got off to a slow start, but redshirt freshman has found his rhythm.
Third three-pointer from the freshman from Camden, Tennessee. I know he has some family members in the house that he's trying to show that he can compete at this level, and I'm sure that he can. He shoots the ball excellent, and he's had a string of 20-point games to prove that.
Here's Bone. Walker tried to clean it up. Pons got it back, still has it. He manhandled the basketball on the baseline.
I was going to bet that he was going to come out with that one. He's such a physically strong kid.
Tennessee is a little bit of a slow stretch for balls today. Tennessee's missed its last 5 shots. Tried to go to Fulkerson off the window.
Walker should have looked a little bit more for his offense. Anytime you're a big guy and you catch the ball in the middle of the paint with 2 feet, you have to look for yourself first, and then if the double team comes, then you can look for the pass.
Clay kept it, finds Vic. Down low, it's tipped by Williams. And he was out of play. Junior Clay turns it over, so it's back to Tennessee. Bowden and Schofield back in as Schofield will replace Grant Williams.
I like what Coach Barnes does here. He has to get Bowden with Lamonte Turner out with a shoulder injury, being a little delicate with his shoulder. He has to develop Bowden at the point guard position.
Turnover on Tennessee as Fulkerson tried to find Walker right under the basket, but Rick Barnes and his team still rolling in front 71-48. Tennessee playing well against Tennessee Tech as the Volunteers are up 71-48 here in Knoxville. Earlier this week, the real talk of the Tennessee basketball program was about Tom Sekoviak, the Tennessee assistant AD for communications. Mike Wilson in the Knoxville News Sentinel had a very inspiring story about the journey that Tom had to a liver transplant. He had to miss a few games earlier this season, but everybody is so happy that Tom is healthy, he is doing well, and he's really back where he belongs as the sports information director for the University of Tennessee, covering the basketball program. I got to know him when I was a student here at Tennessee, really helped out my career. And whether it's been baseball or basketball or just leading Tennessee's media relations effort, he has meant so much to this university, this athletic department. And Vincent, I know you and I are both very glad that Tom is doing well. He's fully healthy. Great to see him here today.
Absolutely. It's glad to see him back, fully healthy. He means so much to the program. He does so many things behind the scenes, and he's such a quiet guy that you almost never notice he's there, but you notice that his job gets done. And all of our thoughts and our prayers were with him, and hopefully he's healed for the rest of his life.
And again, check out this story, knoxnews.com. You can find it online. Really inspiring messages. Inspiring as well, too, about some of the efforts that Tennessee staffers did behind the scenes, especially Coach Rick Barnes, who was very instrumental in helping Tom through a tough time. Junior Clay starting to go to work. Again, a freshman from Chattanooga, went to the McCauley School. He finds Henry, and he'll go to the free throw line after the foul.
This is a nice aggressive move trying to get to the middle. Tennessee has to do a better job in the post of not allowing the offensive player to force his way into the middle. Bad things happen in the middle because it opens up so much vision and opens up so many options for shots.
Now Henry to the free throw line. Leaves it short. Thursday, January 3rd, we'll have a women's college basketball doubleheader that starts at 7 Eastern, 6 Central with the number 8 Mississippi State Bulldogs in Fayetteville to take on Arkansas. Then it's number 25 South Carolina and number 23 Texas A&M in College Station. Both games are streaming here on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. You can watch them anywhere. Quickly to Fulkerson!
That's just beautiful basketball. Starts with Alexander on the other end, getting a rebound, almost losing his balance, getting the ball to his point guard advancing the ball with his head up, Fulke over the top and doing what he does best, finishing strong at the rim.
13 points for John Fulkerson today.
These are the nights that we have to have out of Fulke going forward. Fulke is this type of player. He's even capable of scoring more points because he has more of an offensive repertoire.
John Fulkerson, he's now up to a career high in points today with the 13 he's had.
That's a great outlet by Jordan Bowden, and Fulkerson hammers it with the left hand like only he can.
Native of Kingsport, Tennessee, went to Dobbins Bennett High School for his first 2 years and went to the Christ School after that in North Carolina, a very good basketball program. You know me, Vincent, I've got to mention Dobbins Bennett any time I can.
You got to.
Proud DB alum myself.
Absolutely. And that's one guy to be proud of there. He's going to do great things in his career, great things in his life. Just listen to the
Heroes
crowd.
ovation for Fulkerson.
They love him. They know the energy that he expends. They know that he's a team player. He's fully committed to whatever it takes for the team. Never complains about playing time. Always there. Always solid. And that's why you hear that ovation.
Grant Williams has had 23 points today. Now Schofield going to work. Oh.
That's big and that's strong. And if Schofield makes his mind up that he's going to get to the basket, there's very few people with the strength or ability to stop him from doing so.
Tipped by Kyle Alexander. Back to the Vols. Bowden.
Pick your poison. You can either take the 6'11" guy or you can take the 6'7" crazy athletic. Wrong choice.
There are a lot of SEC coaches that are terrified watching this film of Tennessee right now.
They have a lot of guys that can do a lot of different things.
Foul on Ponce here, but this was not a foul. This was
excellent hustle here by Alexander. Choose your poison and blue pill. Ponce.
Some massive dunks today for Yves Pons. He, in the last two games, only combined to have 4 points. Didn't score in the last game against Wake Forest. Today he's got 8.
8 of the most exciting points that you'll see in college basketball.
Martin long at a 3. It's back to Tennessee. Fans want more up-tempo. They love how the Vols are playing. And one up. Schofield joins in the fun, and Tennessee Tech calls timeout.
Tennessee is just showing that they're the dominant team right now. Everything that they're doing is going their way. Every action they're supposed to have, every extra effort, they're giving it, and it's just showing right now.
Volunteers on a 6-0 run. Tennessee has hit its last 4 shots from the floor. Of course, that's always easy when you're knocking down big dunks like this. A 30-point lead for the Volunteers at home. Tennessee, the 3rd-ranked team in the country. And talking about college basketball polls, there was a lot of conversation earlier in the week. Could Tennessee, with a Kansas loss, move up possibly? But the Volunteers remain at number 3, behind Duke, who leapfrogged to the number 1 spot. Michigan is undefeated. They're number 2, and then Tennessee right behind at number 3.
Absolutely. All very good company to be in. Right now, I don't think Coach Barnes really cares where his group is ranked. I think that he knows that he has a group headed towards that elite level. If they can continue to work and continue to gel and peak at the right time, I think that's what Coach Barnes would be really satisfied with.
And by the way, Michigan number 2 only by 1 vote over Tennessee, so that's how close it is. And also, Joe Lunardi of ESPN is his first bracketology of the year. He has Tennessee right now as a number 1 seed.
Absolutely. I think that they're one of the most dominant physical teams in the country. And if you're not ready to compete at that level, then you can't compete with Tennessee. They just have too many players with too many attributes.
Vick going up against Bowden, needed some help, and a foul will be called on Bowden. Not much you can do there.
Yeah, that's good defense. Try to cut off the baseline. Maybe a little bit too much contact with his hands or his upper body. But you got to get locked back in and be ready to defend the next play.
Junior Clay. And another foul on Tennessee.
Tennessee has to settle back down, make sure that they're keeping their man back in front of them. Right now, everybody's wanting that highlight dunk. We've seen 10, 12 of them tonight. So everybody wants their opportunity. But right now, we have 9 minutes left in the game, and Coach Barnes is going to make sure he's getting guys in that are going to be solid on the defensive end, first of all.
Last foul also on Bowden, so he picks up 2 in a span of just 10 seconds. Here's the underhand toss. Wouldn't go for Alexander. Now here come the Vols. Alexander. Yes.
Excellent turnaround jump shot with Kyle. Keeps the ball high so he knows exactly where the ball is on the move, and then he just tosses it in. Nice touch there.
Turnover on Tennessee Tech.
with Pons guarding their point guard, he's not used to that type of size. So everything that he's doing has to be extended a little bit. The passes have to be a little bit wider, and that's what leads to those turnovers. When you see the guy, but the guy in front of you has at least a 7-foot wingspan, it's not as easy as you're practicing against your normal point guard every day.
Pons lost it there. Big clean steal. Driving. Goes out of play. Otherwise, that would have been another big block for Kyle Alexander.
The determination, the hustle, the grit is right on spot with those elite teams in the country. So Tennessee being ranked 2, 3, I think eventually with the way that they're playing and the strength of some of the other conferences, I think Tennessee will have their opportunity to make it to that #1 spot.
Also, SEC play, Tennessee will start with a lot of winnable games early. The schedule's a little more backloaded in conference play as Williams is a bit shaken up. Right under the rim, and play continued for a while with him on the floor.
It looked like he took a forearm or elbow to the face.
Yep, elbow right there. Did you think that was flagrant?
Right on it. No, it wasn't. It wasn't flagrant. It was. It didn't look like he pointed it at him or swung it. He was just trying to pump fake and come. When the big guy comes down, you're supposed to go up and take it through his chin. So that's what you're supposed to do. And just so happened it was Grant's chin.
Now the officials taking another look at this. Courtney Alexander II right up against him. And he also lost the ball at the time, so I mean that was his main concern more than Williams.
Yeah. Now, he may have flailed his arms a little bit and caused it a little extra, but I think that it was all in honesty trying to make a big play, trying to go up. I don't think that he was intentionally trying to elbow him in the face. Maybe an intentional foul, but I don't think that he could have planned that quickly.
Williams still holding his chin some. That's where he took the brunt of the blow. Today's had a great game. 23 points, 6 rebounds.
The number one thing about Grant is his efficiency. Like, you can watch the game and you'll see, oh, Grant is having a good game, Grant's scoring. Then you look up and he has 23 points because he's so quiet, he's so unassuming, but every time he catches the ball, he's getting it in the position he wants, he's getting the shot that he wants, and then his teammates love to find him.
Well, the officials give an explanation to Coach Payne, and play will continue. A couple bumps between Williams and Alexander. Everything's all right between those two. Always good to see that early.
Yeah.
Still Tennessee Tech basketball. Floated into Alexander. And a foul as he was coming down. That's on Williams.
Coach Payne had some really nice screen away plays to get his post players open at the rim. And to use the athleticism of Alexander and Martin, that's right on point with what he needs to be doing for that OBC league.
Underhanded, left it short. And Williams takes it back. Bone attacks. Yes.
Bone's just a difference maker in Tennessee. If Tennessee is going to be on that elite level, Bone has to continue his elite play. He's about 6.5 assists, and he's directing the team just like Coach Bone, just like Coach Barnes wants. To hear Coach Lanier talk about him, he's now wrapping his arms around the team and beginning to do everything that the coach wants.
Tried for the home run with Grant Williams. Now it's Williams up high, and that goes right back to Tech. Vic off the back iron. Martin couldn't get it in. Alexander, the turnaround.
Excellent shot. Once again, big guy catches the ball, keeps it high, so he on the turn, he knows exactly what the position of the ball is. Easy shot.
12-0 run for Tennessee, last 3.5 minutes. Big to the free throw line. Short. Williams lays it in. 25 today for Grant Williams.
Tennessee Tech has to finish out the game strong. They've come to Knoxville. They put up a good fight. They have nothing to hang their heads about. This is a very good Tennessee team, ranked 3rd nationally. So to lose to Tennessee is not the problem. To give up and not continue to fight and play your coach's game plan out, that's what Tennessee Tech has to do.
It's a good stop by Alexander at first, but then the second leads to a foul, and that will take us to our next timeout on the floor. It's the Volunteers on a 14-0 run over the last 4 minutes, leading comfortably in Knoxville.
Today's attendance, 21,000.
Jordan Bone, another great game today for Tennessee. Vincey's now got a double-double, 14 points and 10 assists.
Yeah, tonight, Jordan showed us a little bit of everything. He starts out with a 3, then an easy drive to the basket, then he gets all of his teammates involved. And that's why they love spreading the floor. You have to reward your big guys, and Jordan Bone always has his eyes open for other guys. 10 assists, that's why you have Kyle Alexander, Grant Schofield all running the floor, and you're up 20.
Even last year, he would have some games where things were not going his way, weren't getting as many points, was not getting as many assists, but at least in non-conference play this year, he's been consistent night in, night out.
Absolutely, and the non-conference play has been right there with the same level as SEC play. You know, we have probably the strongest non-conference schedule in the country, and he's performed very well under the circumstances.
So the underhand shot at the line today, Alexander's been 1 for 4. Let's see if he can knock this one down. Well, it gets stuck. Wilkerson at least knocks it out.
That's so different.
Well, and you're a shooting specialist.
Yeah,
so I know that's
I specialize in shooting, and after the game, I have to go tell the kid that we can fix this thing. That we can.
And the ball's back to work. Tennessee has shot 71% from the floor today. It's great execution. Fulkerson fights and scores. He's up to 15 points, a career high.
Good job. Puts the ball on the floor. Defender doesn't supply any resistance to the middle. You let the guy get in the middle. He opens the court up, and he can take all kinds of shots. Bad things happen in the middle.
Golday left the 3 way short. Good defense, Fulkerson. 4 on the shot clock. Here's Henry. Off the rim. Now the Volunteers get it back with Jalen Johnson. Johnson today has played 8 minutes, hasn't scored so far for the Vols, hasn't attempted a shot.
I'd like to see him be a little bit more aggressive. Right now, I think that he knows that it's not his time to score, so he's just trying to find his way. But when it is, he'll pick up the scoring pace because he's a very athletic kid. He's probably the highest jumper on the team. In warm-ups, he puts down some spectacular dunks.
Bowden goes to the free throw line. Bowden today has had 3 points, and this has been an off-performance shooting. He's got all 3 of his points at the free throw line, but he's been 0 of 6 from the floor.
Yeah, but the key to Jordan is Jordan's the glue guy on the team. He makes sure everything happens. He's always there to assist. He's always there to help, and he's the most selfless person on the team. Talking to the coaches, they say, we want the kid to shoot more, but he really doesn't care about scoring. The only thing that he cares about is winning.
He's gotten the Vols to 91 points. Some backcourt pressure as Junior Clay goes right up against Bone. Henry gets tangled up with Johnson and a foul.
Good slip by Henry there. You saw the defender was going out to trap the point guard. Point guard had the presence of mind to find him on the slip. Johnson was a little bit late there, but in the right position.
Henry misses the first free throw. New Year's Day, the SEC Nation crew of Laura, Marcus, Paul, Tim, and Lauren will be in Orlando to preview the day's games. The SEC teams are playing in. That's 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 Central, right here on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. You're going to be watching some football later today, the college football playoff.
4 o'clock start.
That's right. Here's Alexander. That's just in and out. I think it's inevitable. Probably Clemson and Alabama once again.
I think so. I think so, but we're going to have to roll with the SEC on that
one. Over 6-minute scoring drought for Tennessee Tech. Tennessee's been on an 18-0 run.
Tennessee's defense is still suffocating. Like, they're still 3 feet beyond the three-point line, denying the ball. So that just takes you all the way outside of your offense. And then when you do catch the ball, you're in a position that you're not normally in, so it takes your spacing out of whack.
That takes us to a timeout on the floor. 4 minutes to go as the ball's up 91-49. Tennessee today has scored 91 points. 41 of those are combined between Grant Williams and Admiral Schofield. Just another great game for this dynamic duo.
They are. And Tennessee depends on these guys to get them out to a great start. And so far this season, they've delivered every single time. 41 points with maybe 22 minutes apiece, 23 minutes apiece. That's excellent basketball.
And look at the field goals. Only 1 missed shot for Grant, only 1 for Admiral.
And what you can credit this to is Jordan Bone. 10 assists, running the floor, him being able to find you, putting you in the perfect spot, dragging his guy out a little bit longer so you can get the shot that you want, and then making sure that the team calls are what we're looking for to get the ball into Grant, into Admiral.
Those two right now on the bench as Tennessee will get some more reserves, some playing time for the final 4 minutes. Vols would love to get once again to 100 points. Saw that earlier this season in the win at Memphis when Tennessee won 102-92. See if the Vols can hit the century mark again. Keep an eye out for Jacob Fleshman. Right now it's Fulkerson finding Bone. There's Fleshman. Redshirt sophomore from Austin, Texas, one of the walk-ons on this team. So far he's played in 3 games. Bone with space. Off the back iron. Saved in play for Tennessee Tech thanks to Jared Sherfield. Golday. Sherfield the board. Couldn't get the score. Now it's back to the Vols. Here's Bone. Go to the free throw line.
Excellent job attacking by Bone. He gets from the half court almost to the basket in about 3 dribbles. So when he's pushing at that speed and he hesitates, it almost throws you completely out of balance, or you run completely by him because he's almost throwing on the brakes full stop. And then that's why he's able to create that separation and then blow by you.
15 points today for Jordan Bone. Junior Clay back in.
The beauty of Bone's game today is he has 10 assists, 15 points, and only 1 turnover. When you're playing really good basketball, you're looking for a 3-to-1, 4-to-1 turnover ratio. But when you have somebody out there with a 10-to-1 assist to turnover ratio, that's just unbelievable. That means he's maintaining the possession and he's valued every possession of the ball and did it just like the coach wanted him to do.
It's a nice ovation from the Tennessee fans as they'll likely watch the rest of this game from the bench.
Well deserved.
Clay working inside. Henry tried to finish and draws the foul. Well, this will close out the pre-conference schedule for Tennessee as the Volunteers try to wrap up this win against Tennessee Tech. And will be a week before the next game. Next up, Georgia. One of the newer head coaches in the SEC, Tom Crean, will bring his Bulldogs here next Saturday.
We, like I said earlier, last year Tennessee had that game marked on their calendar. They remember what happened the year before. Little celebration. so he had to come back and get it. Now we're starting off a brand new year with them on the schedule. And I'm sure Coach Barnes and the staff will have his guys prepared and remind them of the history that they've had over the last few years.
That'll wrap up what's been a 4-game homestand. Tennessee, with this win, would make it 16 wins in a row at home. Fleshman off the mark. He is a sharpshooter. And the basketball goes back to Tennessee Tech.
Good looking shot, just a little excited. A little bit, maybe too wide open, and maybe a little contact on the jump shot.
By the way, this winning streak at home has been the longest of the Rick Barnes era, 16 in a row. If today does indeed finish with Tennessee in front, this is flipped back onto Tennessee's end and right to the feet of Coach Barnes. Well, for Tennessee Tech, also, conference play will start for the Golden Eagles, and it will start coming up later this week, playing at Tennessee State. We mentioned it's a very talented league, and the second game is really their biggest as well at Belmont.
Absolutely. Belmont is the standout program there. They're perennial tournament teams, but they also have to be aware of a new team. Tennessee State has a new coach, Brian Penny-Collins, who's going to do an excellent job of getting players to come there. And they're going to, in the next few years, they're going to be a real standout team in that OVC.
Just saw Brock Jansikin along with Lucas Campbell. More walk-ons getting playing time. There's Campbell with the board. Now here come the Vols. Fleshman trying to get it to Walker, and it's tipped out of play. Jacob Fleshman has knocked down a three-pointer already this season.
Really good-looking shot. And he's not trigger shy. He's going to get it up.
Shot clock at 10. Chancic, Campbell. Turnaround, just short. It's Campbell from Knoxville. It's Christian Academy in Knoxville. Long three from Clay. Got it.
Nice shot from Clay. Showing his outside repertoire. He's been very good tonight at penetrating the basket. Fleischman was a little bit off of him, so he wanted to give it a try, see if he can knock it down.
There's Jancic. Couldn't get the layup to go. Of course, he's the son of former Tennessee football defensive coordinator John Jancic. He's a standout at Catholic High School here in Knoxville. 1 minute remains. Cross the line, misfire. And the Vols have it back. Fleshman, partially blocked, but Tennessee Tech was out of play, so the ball will stay with Tennessee. And Tennessee Tech will bring in some reserves as well. Tyler Thompson from Kingston, Tennessee will come in, along with Maverick Smith from Oakdale, Tennessee.
We got Vic and Clay going out of the game. They played excellent games today. They just ran into a team that overmatched them, overpowered them. So
Eric Walker was able to get it out of play, and then he falls to his feet, colliding with the photographer. Now everyone looks to be all right as he gets back up.
Yeah, it's a big guy to fall on you.
Been a tough game for Camera Row down there today. Saw one of our cameramen hit hard. Jancic to Campbell. Now it's guys like Jordan Bone, Jalen Johnson, Kyle Alexander, Eve Pons. They get to be the ones on the bench cheering on these guys. And, of course, Tennessee's bench and some of the players on the floor right now, they have some epic celebrations, especially on the road when things are going well for the Big Orange.
Absolutely.
And also these mustaches. Lucas Campbell has one. Seen John Fulkerson grow his out a little bit, along with Brock Jancic. I don't understand the mustaches that much. Helps Jancic at least get a board.
He's a good-looking kid. Nice, strong
Campbell off the back iron there. Fleshman nearly got it back. 9 seconds to go for Tennessee Tech. Contested three is short, and there will be free throws.
good chance for some people that don't usually get to score to get in and maybe get their name in the book.
Tennessee fans fired up, and over 20,000 in the building today. Very good to see that in non-conference play. And starting with next Saturday, conference play for the Vols, this is going to be one of the toughest tickets in the Southeastern Conference.
Absolutely. This place should be rocking. It should be sold out. They have a lot to be proud of here at Knoxville. The coaching staff, the team, the type of kids that you guys have on the team, all should be celebrated, and everybody should come out and support them in the first game against Georgia.
Thompson makes that. 1.2 seconds left. It'll come into Bowden. And Tennessee wraps up a 96-53 victory. Now the longest winning streak of the Rick Barnes era continues. Tennessee has won 16 straight at home. And today, Vincent, Tennessee was just firing on all cylinders.
Yes, they were. They were being aggressive. They came out. They executed the game plan. Coach wanted to take Vic completely out of the game plan, so he put his biggest dog on him, Eves Pond. He took him completely out of the game into the second half, and then from there, Jordan, Bone, and your guys, Peanut Butter and Jelly, they led the way for the rest of the time, combining for 41. That's almost unstoppable at this level.
Also a career high for Fulkerson with 15 points. So for Vincent Yarbrough, I'm Roger Hoover saying so long from Knoxville, where the final score is Tennessee 96, Tennessee Tech 53. Be sure to tune in tomorrow afternoon at 2 Eastern as the Tennessee Lady Vols take on the Belmont Bruins right here on the SEC Network Plus. To watch this entire game on replay, as well as other games on our family of ESPN networks, log on to watchespn.com or download the Watch ESPN app. This has been a presentation of the SEC ESPN Network.